Sean Strickland confronted Derek Moneyberg. Like, so I'm not challenging you to a fight, but we can go roll around tonight. We kind of head down, look away, you don't want to make eye contact. And then he takes the phone out when we're by the elevator, and then he totally changes his persona, and now he's a tough guy on camera. I don't think you could tap me in 5 minutes. You want to say all this tough guy shit? Like, I think he just wants to talk shit for clicks and views.
Okay, guys, Derek Moneyberg back on the show. It's been almost 2 years since his last episode, I believe, and he's been doing a lot. So thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for inviting me back.
Yeah, you've been all over the news. All the biggest podcasts are talking about you, Joe Rogan included in that, right? Must be pretty crazy times for you.
I'm just a business nerd that does some MMA training, man. And I tried to accelerate that the way I tried to accelerate everything else in life, and but that's when. It's a defense to the jiu-jitsu community that I got my black belt in 3 years and 7 months. And so, many of the top fighters in the world, the people that know me and trained with me said amazing things. And then, of course, people around them, of course, they ask is like, hey, you know that guy, is that legit? And they'd be like, oh, yeah. So then they're understood. But, for people that don't train much, or people that took, 12, 15 years to get their belt, and they're a little offended by that.
Yeah.
I put in the same number of hours. I just did it in a more compressed amount of time, and
right.
With many of the top coaches in the world. So I don't even think it should be so controversial, but
yeah,
we do.
You said a little offended. I'd say some people got very offended based off what I was seeing on social media. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I guess Gordon Ryan made the point on the Rogan show about that like the thing that they're most fussy about is that that I did use that something as a marketing campaign. To be like, I get my belt a lot quicker than you because I'm smarter than you.
I mean, might as well monetize it, right?
We're less dumb and harder working. You could do the same thing.
Yeah.
Which I believe, and I stand by that.
I mean, look at it. You're top 1% in multiple fields. It's not just fighting, right? Business, stocks. You could probably name a few more.
Well, I mean, objectively, and it's not even a cocky thing. It's just objectively true. Of like, if we go to the gym and lift weights, I'm stronger than, more than 99% of the people in the gym. If we go, grapple or whatnot, even with all the UFC guys, a lot of the UFC guys I've trained with, and the other ones, I'm not calling them out or challenging them, but I'm like, I'll be happy to train with you.
Yeah.
Like, respectfully.
And you can hold your own.
I do good with the UFC guys. With the, top level grapplers that are specialists in grappling, if I go to Gordon Ryan's gym, John Danaher's gym, it's called Kingsway, it's down in Austin, Texas, everybody there is just elite.
Yeah.
So, for sure, there's some purple belts there that are better than I am. Because they're like the best grapplers in the world. It's
right.
The best school in the world. So it's totally true.
Okay, so is that how it works with the belts? So like depending on the city you're in, like a black belt doesn't hold the same value?
Well, if you're competing at ADCC that's like the Olympics of grappling. They hold that event every 2 years here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Or they have the world championships and there's all sorts of big tournaments, but ADCC is the biggest and best, okay? And, there's a purple belt guy down there. They call him Big Dan. He's 6'7". He's 320-ish. He's a purple belt, but he'd kill almost every black belt, any normal black belt. But, he guy's number 3 purple belt in the world at ADCC, So that guy's better than most black belts. So, you can call it sandbagging if you want to, that they hold the belts back.
Okay.
But, the guy would beat most black belts, including me.
Makes sense if some of the top purple belt guys are better than a majority or like the bottom half of the black belts, right?
No, that's totally true, So am I going to go win ADCC or the big tournaments in the world? No, I'm a business guy that did that as a hobby. But to your point of like, anything that I did in life, it doesn't mean I'm great at everything. I'm not great at everything, but anything that I focused on, I'm very physically strong. I went to the best business school in the world. At the time that I went to my MBA program, there's 416 programs in the country. I went to the number 1 ranked school, University of Chicago, Booth School of Business. Shout out to Booth. I did well in my business. Recently, I got $50 million revenue recognition. I did well in that business. I helped with other businesses before that. I did good at everything. I did good at stock investing. I did good at real estate investing.
Yeah.
I'm no good at tennis. I'm no good at golf. You don't want me to be your heart surgeon. You'll probably die. So there's a lot of things I'm no good at. But the things that I focused on, I did very well. And I kind of have that sort of an obsessive personality that I'm going to do something extremely well or probably I'll do something else,
Right.
I don't kind of do things part way. So, elaborating on the process that went into that belt is like, I spent $4 million on gyms.
Wow.
Which was mostly real estate expenses, okay, but then the renovations. So there's 4 properties that got renovated to be like an MMA gym and a weightlifting gym. Then I spent another few $1 million. So you bought your belt. You bought your belt. You paid your coaches. No shit, I paid my coaches. No shit, I paid my. I also paid my tuition at my university. I paid tuition at my university too, guys. My professors got paid. They got paid too. You know, everybody that you know who else gets paid? My weight training coach. When I asked him to come train with me, who's amazing guy, was on the Olympia stage many times. I pay him too.
Yeah.
I also pay my cell phone bill. I pay for a lot of things. So that doesn't mean that you didn't do the work.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you didn't do the work.
People had an issue with you paying coaches.
Oh man, it's absurd. Like,
I don't understand that though.
You know who else pays coaches? All the UFC champions. They pay their coaches too.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. I don't understand that argument. I understand the timing argument because people just can't grasp how you did it so quickly, right? Because the average person, like you said, takes 13 years to get it.
Yeah, I think, and a lot of people say 10-ish years, and some people most people would never do that, but of people that have a black belt, 10 years is good, 12, 15.
Yeah.
And that's a guy that he takes a year off in between, and he takes family trips, and he's got a normal job, and he shows up at the gym 3 days a week and for an hour. Of course, it takes 15 years if you show up 3 days a week for an hour and you take time off.
Right.
I'm showing up most every day of the year, and I have the best coaches in the world, literally the best coaches in the world, and I put in a lot of hours.
Spent millions, yeah.
It's not even like a controversial thing in terms of like, I spent the same hours with them, and I did it with better coaches, and I did it at my private facilities, and I don't even know what the fuss is, honestly, but I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. Were you shocked with all the hate and the outrage at first, or did you kind of expect it?
No, not to that level, actually. There's always, somebody always has something to say. I'm sure in your comments there's...
Oh, I get hate every day.
There's some geniuses out there that have, but what are they doing better than you? What are they doing? The guys that are talking shit about, me or you or anybody else that did anything of any notoriety.
Yeah.
What are they doing better than you? What are they doing better than me?
Usually it's someone, that I don't give a shit about, to be honest.
I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
The majority of them, I don't even know who they are. Or if I do know who it is, then it's somebody that just, your name is trendy at the moment, so they're trying to use your name to leapfrog and get more clicks and views,
Which I get that too, as a content creator. I get that part of it.
That's life.
Yeah.
I think of it like, I don't get very emotional about it at all. I think of it like, if you watch like an animal show, like a documentary about, the African wildlife or parasites or something of that nature, I think, well, when a lion chases down a zebra in the savannah and digs his claws in, and, the zebra barely gets away, and they chase some more, and he tackles the zebra, usually a she, tackles the zebra, bites it on the neck, and, waits for it to die. Well, if the lion's by itself, if there's 14 hyenas there, the 14 hyenas can take the zebra from the lion,
Right.
Does that mean a hyena is a more noble creature than the lion?
No.
Not in my opinion. And, if you look at, like, there's all sort of parasitic relationships when, like, I'm not an expert on this topic, but, there'll be some worm that gets in your body and lives in your intestines and swims around in your shit all day.
Parasite.
Yeah. And sometimes I look at the internet comment and I'm like, oh, that's one of those intestinal worms. When a person says some of the things they say, I'm like, oh, that must be like one of those hyenas. Like,
do you block them or do you just ignore them?
It depends. It depends what mood I'm in at that moment and if I have time. I think to myself, if there's a moment for a good business promotion, I'll take advantage of that. If there's a moment where I just feel like I have a humorous response in my mind and it just make me laugh personally, I'll take advantage of that. But some people just say such absurd things, and I'm just like, block. Like, it's so unreasonable that I'm just like,
you're not going to change their opinion.
There's nothing. There's no common ground, or we're not going to get to anywhere. But last comment about haters is like, I've thought this many years now. Like the number one thing a hater hates is themselves. They're not mad at you. They're not mad at me. The number one thing a hater hates is himself. And I say himself rather than themself because it's almost always a guy. It's almost always a guy.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it, but you're so right. It's always dudes.
Pretty women don't hate on you. Pretty women, I bet when pretty women send you a message, they say real nice things to you.
Even ugly women, I don't see them really. Actually, no, that's not
ugly true. Women don't write me much.
They're in the political comments. I guess you don't see that because you don't talk about politics. Sense. But yeah, I see that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But usually it's dudes when it comes to other topics.
Yeah, I'm talking about fighting and finance mostly. So
Yeah.
I don't have ugly women. No, but then I'm saying.
The Tri-Light from Therisage is no joke. Medical grade red and near infrared light with 3 frequencies per light, deep healing, real results, and totally portable. It's legit. Photo biomodulation tech in a flexible on-body panel. This is the Tri-Light from Therisage, and it's next level red light therapy. It's got 118 high-powered polychromatic lights, each delivering 3 healing frequencies, red and near infrared, from 580 to 980 nanometers. It's sleek, portable, and honestly, I don't go anywhere without it.
And sincerely, that makes sense that in a political context, there's a horde of ugly women that tend to vote for a particular party. Yeah, the other thing I think about a hater is like a hater is a jealous fan. Like they're not taking the time to poke at you or poke at me because they fucking really hate you. It's like they're interested in you, and somewhere in their head they'd like to be you. A hater is a jealous fan.
They're projecting, yeah. No, it's interesting because a lot of my comments are like, oh, I'm unfollowing. I'll click on their profile, they still follow me.
Mm-hmm.
They're just leaving comments just for the fun of it, I feel like, half the time. The hate only gets to me when it's someone I respect. And I would consider that more criticism in that scenario for the most part. So when I saw the Sean Strickland thing, that one surprised me because that's someone probably you respected, right?
Oh, I've said that to him. And, there's a few times that I've... in the past, I asked Sean Strickland twice, like, hey, come do an interview with me. He never did that. I did interviews with 300 or so world champions. And even before he was world champion, I asked him, hey, come do an interview with me. I thought the guy's kind of interesting. I like that he's not politically correct. I think he's a talented fighter. There's things I respect about the guy.
Yeah.
And I said that to him. And, as soon as I got that black belt, within hours, he's talking shit on the internet and saying things that are not true and repeating things. There's, I have a little bit of a reputation that Derek likes to sue people. I only sued 2 people in my life. And Sean's going to be the 3rd, by the way. But I only sued 2 people in my life. And Sean's reposting that type of content. He's reposting content from one of those people that I still have an ongoing litigation with. And, you're just saying things that, I'm a fraudster and a scamster and other various things that I'm disappointed about that. If you want to say that my black belt's fake, come train with me. And I sent him DMs privately. They didn't respond back publicly. I privately sent him DMs and I said, more or less, and I don't remember word for word, but I have screenshots of all of it that I've given to my attorney. And I said, hey, if you believe that, take the time to meet me.
Yeah.
Come do an interview with me. Come train with me. I'm sure there's something I could learn from you. I'd be happy to train together. He don't want to do that is a series of more insults. Then he goes back and posts more negative things that are just not true. They're lies. And then I see the guy in person recently. I'm training at Glover Teixeira's gym. And
Is that in Vegas?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So I flew to Connecticut to go train with Glover. Glover's one of my main coaches. He's my striking coach, him and Lyoto Machida. I have my striking belts under them. So Strickland's there. He doesn't go to the gym. And Glover told me before. So Alex Pereira has his fight on October 4th.
Yeah.
And Alex already beat Strickland when they fought. Alex knocked him out. They're both very talented though. And he said that, by the way, Strickland's going to be here, blah, blah, blah. Alex asked him to come spar with him. And I said, well, no, okay. I said, when I see him, we have to have a conversation. I'm not going to be aggressive with him. I don't think he's going to be aggressive with me, but we have to have a conversation about the things he said. Like, you understand that, right? And Glover's like, yeah, I understand. Makes sense. So when I go there, I'm there all day on Wednesday. No, Strickland doesn't show up.
Did he know you were there?
He did, and I'll explain why and not. So he doesn't show up all day. I'm there from 11:45 in the morning till about 10:30 at night. I left for 2 hours to get food and stuff with Glover, came back again. So I'm there all day.
Yeah.
He doesn't show up. The next day, I'm there from noon, 11-something in the morning till 5-something p.m. We go get food, and then ask Glover, hey, drop me off at the hotel. I want to shower before our second training session. When I walk into the hotel, he's staying at the same hotel as I am. And then on the internet, they say, Sean Strickland confronted Derek Moneyberg. Like, that's not true. I go see the guy, and I see him in the lobby, and I was respectful and polite about it. I was a gentleman about it. I said, Sean, take a minute to come talk with me. And he kind of, we can talk at the gym tomorrow. I said, I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I fly tomorrow. But I'd appreciate it if you take a minute to come talk with me. He didn't want to do that. And then He gets some detergent from the front desk. I waited for a second. We walk away a few feet and we have a little conversation for 90 seconds maybe, about 2 minutes total before he brings his camera out. And I said, you talk all this shit, but you won't take a minute. I've asked you to do interviews with me. I'm asking you now to take a minute to come talk with me in person. I said, I'm going to go back to the gym in an hour.
Yeah.
If you believe that stuff, we can train together tonight. So I'm not challenging you to a fight, but we can go roll around tonight. And he's like, we kind of head down, look away. You don't want to make eye contact. So then I said, Sean, I don't think you even believe the shit you're saying. But if you believe that shit, then do a grappling match with me. We'll do a public grappling match. We'll do it for the public. We'll schedule it. I said that. I didn't explain this detail, but I need to get my cardio appropriate to do that.
Yeah.
So I needed, 8-week training camp, the same way all fighters would. Well, I said, you can't tap me. You're not going to tap me in a grappling match. And then he don't want to do that. So then we walk to the elevator, which, by the way, when you go into a hotel, the natural place you would go is to the elevator to go to your room. All right. And then he takes the phone out when we're by the elevator, and then he totally changes the persona, and now he's a tough guy on camera.
That's the video I saw, yeah.
Yeah, that's the video that's on the internet, that he wants to pretend to be a tough guy on camera. He's not a tough guy. He's just a bully. He's just a bully.
That is interesting. Yeah, that is very interesting. That he wouldn't fight you, because for him, that should be pretty winnable, right?
If he doesn't believe that I've done the work, then it should be fucking super easy.
Like, I don't know his grappling experience, but I'd imagine.
He's got a black belt for over a decade.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not saying that I fucked the guy up. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying, I don't think you could tap me in 5 minutes. You want to say all this tough guy shit? And I've tried to be a gentleman to him several times. There's things I respect about the guy. There's things that I like about the guy. And I think he just wants to talk shit for clicks and views. And that's okay if you want to talk shit.
Yeah.
But then when you get into the realm of saying disparaging things that are bad for my reputation and bad for my business, well, now you owe me money. Well, now you owe me money.
Yeah, he is pretty unfiltered. Got to give it to him.
It's not just unfiltered. It's detached from reality at that point. The things that he's saying they're just simply not true.
Yeah. Man.
You can say you doubt my black belt. You can say that. Okay. But you can't say that I steal money from people. You're a scammer. You're this, you're that. It's just not true.
Yeah. That one was interesting to me because most of the fighters seem to talk positively about you.
Almost everybody. Anybody that knows me well.
Exactly. So when I saw that one, I was like, the hell's going on there,
No, it's disappointing. I would have liked to have a different type of relationship with him, but I've tried that multiple times. I've reached out to him previously, as I said, asked for an interview. I've reached out to him when he did talk shit about me publicly. I wrote to him privately and tried to fix that. My coach, Jake Shields, who gave me the belt, trained at the same gym frequently. Randy Couture's gym. Shout out to Randy, great man. And Jake talked to him and said, Sean, what are you doing? You think I gave him a fake belt? I didn't give him a fake belt.
Yeah.
Continue to talk shit after that. When I see him in person, I'm not aggressive. I was a gentleman. I say, hey, I'd like you to take a minute to come talk with me. Will you talk with me for a minute, please? So he don't want to do anything reasonable. He just wants to tell lies and spread lies and say disparaging things on the internet.
That's crazy. You think it's too late to mediate this through a mutual friend, or you think it's kind of...
I've tried 4 times, so I'm done trying, and that's going to be...
That's a lot of times. Yeah, that's a lot of times.
That's going to be a legal issue for him.
Wow.
He said things that are damaging to my reputation and my company, and he owes me for that.
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Good luck with that, man. So the Craig Jones Invitational was last month. You got invited to that?
Well, Craig Jones, who also is a very talented grappler. I don't want to say anything bad about his... I don't know what the rankings are, but I imagine he's, top 5 in his weight division. He might be higher than that. So, for sure, top 10, maybe top 5 in his weight division. I know he's a very talented guy. I respect that about him. And he's a hell of a marketer and promoter.
Yeah.
He's an amazing marketer and promoter.
Yeah, that event was sold out, I believe.
He does a great job with it. He used my name, by the way. He used my name to market the event. He used my image and my name.
Without your consent?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, the audacity of this fucker that, kind of in a good way, I thought to myself, this fucking guy is so audacious that he takes my image and my name and used it for all kinds of promotion of Derek Moneyberg super fight. Never spoke to me before. We never had a conversation. And in that context, I think to myself, I'm just like, wow, this is the most audacious, shameless man. But he's also co-branding me with the event, and it's not necessarily a bad thing for me. So I'm like, Yeah, I guess. I guess.
I guess it was a win-win because you were at the talk of the town with the black.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Quince. As the weather cools, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually gets the job done, that are warm, durable, and built to last. Quince delivers every time with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. They have fall staples that you'll actually want to wear, like the 100% Mongolian cashmere for just $60. They also got classic fit denim and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. They've really become a go-to across the board. You guys know how I love linen and how I've talked about it on previous episodes. I picked up some linen pants and they feel incredible. The quality is definitely noticeable compared to other brands. Layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/DSH for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. They're also available in Canada too.
About controversy, and you probably helped him sell some tickets. So
No, he just piggybacked off of that momentum that was a trendy thing to talk about at the time.
yeah,
I think to myself, this guy is truly fucking shameless. Which again, I'm not even saying it in an insulting way. I a little bit admire the audacity of this fucking goofball to do this shit. You know.
so he didn't even message you. He just
Well, then he messaged me later. What's his name? Gable Stevenson. My understanding, I don't follow all these things in detail. So my understanding is that Gable Stevenson pulled out of the fight that he was supposed to do with Craig. And then about 8 days before the event, 7-8 days, Craig Jones reaches out to me. He sends me a DM. I posted these on my Instagram recently. Because Craig's done several slimy things. So, like, you know, when people send me a private message, I've never, ever published a private message ever, except for this one time. And that's because, you know, Craig wants to talk shit. He's another guy. He's a promoter, clicks and views, great grappler. Not a very high integrity person in my estimation, but great grappler, great promoter. You know, give credit for what it is. You know? There's things he's great at. Happy to give him credit for that. But, he wrote me and he said, I'll bring the messages out. And if you want to, I'll send them to you if you edit them into the video just for, if you feel like it, whatever's best for you.
if he doesn't sue me, I'm down.
Nothing to sue you for. You're just. You know. So Craig reaches out to me. He says, want to have a match against me for CJI. And he's like, legit, no joke request.
What date was this?
August 23rd.
Okay.
August 23rd. And I said, you're a world-class dickhead. These are my first words to him ever. You are a world-class dickhead. I've been to Australia 11 times, so I know how hard it must have been to outcompete all the other dickheads there. And he's like, you know, yeah, I am an idiot.
So he admitted it.
Yeah. So we go on a little bit. He's like, either way, boss, you want some seats to the event? Let me know. You're the talk of the town. I said, I'm in Europe until September 1st. The following weekend, I'll be trading with Gordon and some of the guys at Kingsway. He says, Gordon, my nemesis, ha ha ha, because they used to be in the same team and that team split.
Okay.
He said, when is your event? Next week? He says, event is August 31st. So that's 8 days ahead of time. In Vegas. I said, I'll be in Germany. He said, I've been thinking, I keep thinking we have a match and you beat me. Funniest shit ever. Socks on. Then I'm never heard from again. Ha 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 ha. And I said, you know, thank you for the invitation. I said, I'm a lot bigger than you, but you're much more experienced and very talented. Would be hard for me to beat you. Like, I don't even think I can beat the guy, but super talented guy, one of the best in the world. He said, I'd just throw it. Haha. I mean, I have no idea how good you are. It's just hilarious. And I said, well, you're a great promoter.
Wow.
So I posted those publicly. If you want to, I'll send you the screenshots.
You think he was joking or serious?
I mean, if I took that, it would be written into a contract. If I accepted something like that, it would be written into a contract.
Right.
That he's not allowed to win, or there'd be a liquidated damages clause that he owes me X dollars if he violated that agreement.
Yeah, because allegedly Jake Paul does some similar wording to that. Allegedly.
I've heard that. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
I've seen Jake Paul. We've been in the same room together. I don't know the guy.
Yeah, it's not real like boxing, I guess. It's like exhibition fights, so it's a little different, right?
Yeah, I've heard these things. whatever anybody wants to say about him, I mean, that guy's done a hell of a job promoting himself. He's made a lot of money. He's helped other people make money. So yeah, I hear different things about him. I don't know what's true or not true, but looks like he's doing pretty damn well for himself. Good for him.
I will always respect him, even though he used to be one of the most hated people. He's still pretty hated, but he kind of channeled most of it, I feel like, into success. So you got to respect that, right?
Looks like he's doing good to me.
Yeah. So you didn't get the belt to get into fighting. You just did it as a side
Well,
quest.
that's a hobby. There's not a soundbite anywhere. I never said to my coaches. I never said on Instagram. I never said anywhere that like, dude, I'm 46 years old. Who am I supposed to be beating up?
Yeah.
I wanted to do that for my fitness. I wanted to do that because like I traveled a lot. I've been to 66 countries. I've traveled a couple million miles, more than 2 billion miles.
Holy shit.
And I think to myself, in my 40s, I'm a big guy. I'm pretty strong. Not a lot of people, want to attack some guy, my size.
Yeah.
20 years from now, is that still true? When you're 60-something, can you really protect yourself and your woman when you're 60-something, in some other country and, 2 or 3 young men want to mess with you? It's not realistic. If you don't have good fight training, it's just not realistic,
Yeah.
And I'd like to have the confidence when I'm an older man that I could protect myself, I could protect my woman, I could protect people that I care about. So, I was always interested in martial arts. I never did that when I was younger. So I was interested in the topic. It was good for my fitness. It was good for self-defense. It's something that shows discipline and commitment. So, it's good for a co-branded thing with my business in that way, that it shows discipline and commitment, the same way entrepreneurship or other things require discipline and commitment.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing for me.
Yeah, I think a lot of wins came out of it, to be honest.
I think it was very good for me. Some of the people that are the high level in say UFC or the highest level fighters, they're some of the nicest and best and most honorable good people in the world. It's like the last enclave of people that are very sincere, hardworking. They're exactly how they say they are,
Yeah.
Like Lyoto Machida or a guy like Royce Gracie. It's exactly who you think he is.
It's very interesting how there's so many sports, but you're right. The fighters seem to have, I wonder if it's like the discipline or the work ethic that goes into it, right? The mindset.
I agree with that. And it's an individual sport, If you're on a team where there's, 5 people on the basketball court or 13 people in football or whatever it is, well, then you can say, that guy should have done something different. No, it's you and one other person in a cage. It's you and one other person, and it's pretty clear what your skills are.
Right. Yeah, you got to take full accountability when you lose or mess up.
Some people don't; they still want to blame the coach or something. But
or the ref.
Yeah, true. And yet that comment about the ref, just briefly, Lyoto told me a story like this. Lyoto Machida is one of the best strikers ever, amazing guy, former UFC champion, multi-time, 205-pound division. And Lyoto says when he's a child, he started training really at birth, but he started official training when he was 4.
Wow.
And he said that he lost a tournament. I don't know if he's 7, 8 years old. He lost some tournament. He lost a match. And he's in the car with his father driving home, and he's upset about it. And he said, the referee, blah, blah, blah. And he says, father pulls the car over. He said, Lyoto, you never think this way again. Say, you do better. If you finish the guy, there's nothing to say about the referee. Gordon Ryan says the same thing. He's like, there's no excuse for this shit. There should never be a referee decision. If you choke the guy and he taps, you're not worried what the referee thinks.
I love that.
Just be better. Just be better.
That's great advice, right?
That really sticks in my head of like in other areas of life. I think that really is the answer. That if you're a man that if you're not happy with your current circumstances, then work harder and be smarter and make yourself a better man, and you'll have better circumstances.
Yeah. How's the stock portfolio? I know the first time you came on, we talked about stocks a lot. You doing well this year?
Very well overall. So when there was a lot in April, there was a lot of turmoil around tariffs, and that was changing a lot of things in the economy.
Yeah.
So I got a good smackdown for a little while then.
Everyone got hit with that.
Yeah, that's life. Warren Buffett did too. So whoever wants to make fun of me on the internet for that, that's how life is, guys. A stock market, the stock chart is not linear. It doesn't just go.
Didn't he? Was that him that cashed out everything, or was that Bill Gates?
No, he did take a lot of liquidity before then, and he also didn't buy things when they were low. And I've had amazing returns since then. But it's hard to argue with Warren. Warren's done. The only points where I can have real disagreement is not to criticize what he's doing, but he's managing so much money that there's only certain things that are worth his while to invest in. He has a smaller basket of opportunities to invest in. He's not going to invest, $5 million here or $10 million there. It doesn't move the needle for him. It means nothing, Yeah. Just his personal net worth is about $160 billion. So, if he can invest, there's opportunities available to me or to other people with, a respectable net worth, but a much lower net worth than him. That, if I can spend $5 million and turn it into 15, that's a nice opportunity for me.
Right.
If he spend but that might not be a big enough opportunity that he have to buy the whole company,
Yeah. There's no liquidity for his investment size. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So he has that limitation. But yeah, he's done great. He's also been a role model or inspiration to me.
Yeah.
Amazing what he's accomplished.
I mean, I've heard great things from fighters that have been on the show about your stock picks.
I do very well.
Claudia spoke highly of you. Same with Jake. Are you investing in AI this year, or are you kind of just thinking that's a
I
fact?
think you have to, and a way that I've been thinking about it, just very honestly, I don't know. I'm not a heavy tech guy, I'm not a guy that knows all the little technology things. I don't know coding. There's a lot of things I don't know about technology. So then I have to think about that in a different way. And I say, well, you look at NVIDIA, the price is up so high, it's hard to follow in there and think that you're going to multiply your money. You look at a lot of those type of companies. Palantir, I met Peter Thiel years ago.
Oh, yeah?
I think he's one of the most brilliant people I ever spoke to. He seemed like a highly, highly intelligent person. I wish I would have bought that company. I didn't. And it's up 23x in the past 2 years.
Crap.
In less than 2 years, it's up 2,300%.
So if you put $1 million, you'd be up
23.
Wow.
Your million would be 23
in
million.
2 years.
Less than 2 years, yeah.
That's
Look at the chart.
insane. Wow.
So, there's opportunities like that are, loosely on my radar, but I don't feel confident enough to pull the trigger on that. I just don't know the technology well enough. So then I got to think about second and third order effects. So then you could look at companies like, say, Digital Realty Trust or, Equinix. These are REITs that they own the buildings where the servers are stored, where they have backup generators and redundant backup generators. So their servers never lose power. They're air conditioned, and everything is temperature controlled. They're going to have power no matter what, et cetera, et cetera.
Got it.
So, but those companies have moved up a lot too. So then I think, all right, I got to go, further back on the food chain and think, or the supply chain, technically, and say, well, what the hell, what's not overpriced yet that has to go up later? And I think nuclear energy is a great place for that. So I bought URA recently because I'm also not an expert on nuclear energy, but if you want to build a nuclear plant, you need uranium. And I spent a lot of money on URA recently, which is just a uranium ETF. And I bought the ETF because I'm sure there's some stock in there that's going to outperform the other ones, but I'm not a fucking nuclear scientist and I don't know every detail. So I'm just like, well, if I own the uranium mines, all this AI and Bitcoin, it takes so much electricity. Not just Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrencies and all the AI stuff takes so much electricity. It's not possible with windmills. It's not possible with solar. We're already burning a good amount of natural gas. There's a lot of natural gas out there. They can burn more natural gas. You could spin up more plants to burn natural gas. But if you're serious about having, significant power, it's not going to be hydroelectric. It's not going to be windmills. It's not going to be solar. It has to be nuclear. And to build those nuclear plants, you need uranium. So I bought a bunch of the uranium mines because we're not there yet,
Wow.
And that's done very well in recent months.
Well done. Yeah, you think like way ahead of the curve, I'd say.
Everybody's focused. You'll understand this. You're very smart and you'll get it. It's like everybody's so focused on the short term of what's going to happen this week, this month. It's hard for them to think past this quarter. And it's really hard for them to think past 2 quarters. Everybody's focused on the next 6 months with a heavy bias towards right now. And I think it's hard for me to compete in that space, that there's so much capital that goes into that short-term thinking that I have to think about, well, what are they not focused on yet that, in a year or 3 is going to be very valuable? And that's been a very good investment strategy for me. I buy boring things. I'm not an exciting, trendy guy with investments. I buy boring things like electricity and retailers and REITs and stuff. I buy very boring things that are just out of favor and underpriced. And I think, well, these numbers just don't make sense. In the future, I think this has to do a lot better.
Well, electricity seems like a very safe play these days. My bill has doubled since I've moved to Vegas in 4 years.
The thing about I think another good one, and I'm not telling, hey, if you don't understand the stock market, don't buy these things.
Not financial advice, guys.
No. Yeah, but sincerely, I'm not a person who doesn't understand what they're buying shouldn't buy it. I don't buy things that I don't understand.
I like that advice.
If they don't understand what I'm talking about, like sincerely, please don't buy that. You're not going to know when to sell it. If you don't understand what it is and how it works, you're going to find a way to mess it up. And I don't want you to mess up your money. So, I mean, I'm not just saying that as like a precaution for, I'm not giving you financial advice, but here's financial advice. It's like, no, it's dangerous, man. If you don't know what you're doing, probably you shouldn't do it,
I'm the same way because people ask me for crypto advice. That's how I made my millions. And I never tell them what coins to buy, to be honest.
Yeah, and
because then they'll get mad at me if they lose money.
When things go well, it's because of them. When things go bad, it's because
you won't even know if you made the money. They won't tell you that. Mm-hmm. And if they lose even 5-10%, you're going to be getting calls and texts.
And they're going to sell it at the exact wrong time. And then when it goes up later, then they're extra mad at you.
By then the damage is done. They've already texted people that you're a scam and you gave them bad advice.
Yeah, I teach people how to make better financial decisions and how to be a good independent thinker, what variables they have to think about and consider. I teach people how to think, not exact specific stock picks.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to talk about things that I own. I don't mind that at all. But that's just a case study is like, this is how I'm thinking about it. This is what I bought. This is why I bought it. This is what I think might happen. And sometimes I have to tell them I'm wrong, And I don't mind doing that either because I don't know anybody that's super successful that's like, is 100% right all the time. It's like you're gonna have little failures and you're gonna have little setbacks and like that's life.
No one shoots 100%. But in stocks, the fact that you're even making money is abnormal. I think most people lose money on stocks, right?
People that buy individual stocks tend to lose money.
Yeah. Same with crypto.
And if you don't know what you're doing, the momentum of the market is going to cause you to have irrational emotions, or to have make emotional decisions rather than logical decisions, and you're doomed if you're not thinking rationally, if you're not thinking more long term and rationally. Right. I strongly recommend you don't buy stocks. It's going to be bad.
People over leverage too. That's the big problem.
People ask me about, a guy wrote me the other day, he's like, I got, triple leveraged ETFs for this and this and this. And like, he's like, I made so much money. And I'm like, yeah, but someday the market will go down 20%. That happens every, 18 months, couple of years. Something happens, like the tariffs.
Right.
And the market goes down 20-ish%. Happens all the time. Happens every, couple of years. And, and you won't be down 20%, you'll be down 60%.
Mm.
And for most people, that's about the time that they liquidate.
Yeah.
And then the thing goes up again, and he's here. I don't even know the guy. It's just a random guy writing me. And he's like, yeah, man, but I made so much money, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, you poor thing,
Yeah.
Like, Buffett says like a couple times per century, the market's going to go down 50% or more.
Jeez.
And, for that guy, if the market goes down by 1/3, your account's at zero. You have a full liquidation.
Yeah, he'd be wiped out. Have you survived a swing like that before, 50%?
2000. I remember this. I was on Canal Street in New Orleans, which is near the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And I remember with one of my buddies, I won't say his name for his privacy, but we met maybe in 2006 or 7, and he was asking me about my investments. So I started buying stocks heavily in December 2008, and the market was just down, down, down. I bought a lot of casino stocks this time, down, 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 down. And, I kind of ran out of money where I was spending cash. I ran out of cash. I had assets. I didn't have cash. I was spending, all that money through December, first half of January. And, then I didn't have any more cash. And the market just kept, and the bottom was the first week of March 2009. At that time, I was down, my portfolio was down 70%.
Holy shit.
I was down 70%. And I remember being in New Orleans with my buddy. He was broke at the time, or more or less. He was a young kid. He was in his early 20s. And he was smart, ambitious guy. And we were having a conversation. I remember this car drove by, a Lamborghini. I don't give a shit about sports cars, but I just made an example to him. Like that car probably cost $400,000 or $500,000. But yeah, I just lost that in the last 10 days. You could have bought a couple of those, but instead, my account's down 70%.
Jeez.
Now, if you fast forward a couple of years, that got me from like 1 million to 4 million net worth.
Oh, so you survived that. Yeah. You didn't liquidate losses?
No.
Well,
No, but I also had a bachelor's degree in business. I also studied a lot of things from Warren Buffett and some other investors. That's very uncomfortable. You don't feel good.
yeah.
You don't feel good when you're down that much. And that was without leverage.
Wow.
And I've always thought about that. I don't like a lot of leverage. I don't have a lot of debt. I don't like to have a lot of debt because it's mathematically impossible to go bankrupt if you don't have debt.
That's true.
It's impossible to go bankrupt. You at home should write that down. It's impossible to go bankrupt if you don't have debt.
So do you use credit cards?
I mean, I pay it off every month. Yeah, I use credit cards.
Okay.
I pay the bill every month.
Yeah, I'm a fan of credit cards. Loans are where it gets tricky, though. Taking loans with high interest.
I don't. For what?
Have you done that before for a house or anything?
I mean, I have normal mortgages, but even in properties I own, I don't have a lot of debt on it.
You put down a big percentage for the
No,
down payment?
some people criticize that, and fairly. This is a personal preference, in my opinion. I grew up poor, and I grew up in a small house, 800 square foot, which was, my mom was a hoarder, my dad was a hoarder. The house was packed with stuff. My dad was in prison, so at least his stuff wasn't there. My best friend lived in the trailer park that was basically in my backyard. There was a second trailer park at the end of the street, and I grew up around a bunch of white trash trailer park people. For me, I have enough money I make enough money in my business. I have enough money in my brokerage account that I just don't want a lot of debt on real estate. If it's personal, if it's things that I use, now I say it two different ways. If we bought a hotel, you and I go buy a hotel together, or an apartment building or an office building, okay? Ideally, I'd like to own 0%, and I'd like us to manage it well and have good cash flow. That the cash flow pays all the expenses, and what we have is profit, and we have 0% down. Now, I'm not saying that structure is a viable structure. I'm saying ideally, if we could buy a $500 million building with 0% down, and we only make 4% per year, but we have nothing to lose. Worst case, it's the bank's problem. If the economy tanks, it's not my problem or your problem. It's the bank's problem. Okay, so I think about that very differently than property that you use for yourself. That's for your personal use or for your business use. I'd rather not have debt on that. I just don't want to have to think about it.
Okay,
and probably that's fear-based thinking from my childhood. That's probably true.
I could see that. Yes, you view your personal property as separate from a business investment, basically.
I just think of them as different things. So if it's your personal house, I'd just rather own it or have little debt.
Have the peace of mind.
If it's something I use for my business, my studios and stuff, I own those properties. I have very little debt on that relative to their value.
Yeah. No, I could see that. My my loved one, moving house to house growing up was tough on her mentally, I think. So when we bought the house, I was like, yeah, I'll put down a lot because I know you want to be comfortable, Even though I didn't, I'm going to be honest.
I like that stability. And there's a fair criticism on the other side that somebody would say, if you're a good businessman, your money should be in the markets. Your money should be in your investments, making you more money. That's a fair argument.
Yeah.
I think it's a personal preference that if you have a strong appetite for more risk and you're willing to tolerate the volatility of maybe losing all your properties and moving into a shitty apartment somewhere, okay.
Yeah,
if you like, okay. I'm just a little less risk averse. I'm not trendy. I don't like a lot of. Again, I don't buy trendy stocks. I buy boring things. I like safety and security.
Yeah. Well, you're at the point now where you're just living off the interest of your investments, right?
I make good money from my business. My business pays the bills, and and I put some money away every month from the business, and make more money with that. And in the future, if I don't want to run that business, okay. Then my investments can pay for my life.
Yeah.
I don't have to do anything I don't want to.
That's awesome. That's where I want to be in a few years. I want to probably have, I think I calculated it, 20 mil liquid is where I need to be to live off, 7% a year off that.
Yeah, so 1.4 minus inflation.
Yeah, I think I could do that with 20 mil.
Well, you'd be spending, 60, 70,000 a month depending how you want to think about inflation rate.
Yeah, I spend 40 right now without kids, so I think I factored in another 15, 20 with kids.
Yeah.
So 20 mil is where I need to go.
Yeah.
I don't have
you on a puppy or something?
I got 2 puppies. Those are expensive too, but not as much as kids. But I feed my dogs raw meat and shit. It's pretty expensive. It's $1,000 a month, I guess.
Yeah, lucky dogs.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah, no tap water for them either.
Shit.
They drink out of glass.
I even drink
You do?
I even drink tap water.
I'm surprised. Do you know what's in there?
Maybe if I knew, I wouldn't drink tap water. I don't know.
I'll have to educate you, man.
I know when I go through the airport, here, this is the most true thing you've ever heard in your life, okay? I go through the airport. I fly twice a week. I'm always flying somewhere. And I'll bring about 4 empty bottles with me.
Yeah.
And then I'll go through security and go fill the bottles up in the lounge on the other side. And put cold water in the bottles. My brain can't fathom that I'm going to pay $6 for a bottle of water.
I hate it. No matter how much money I have, still paying that airport water fee is insane to me.
I can't do it.
$8.
I want to pay. Is it?
Yeah, it's $8 for a plastic water bottle. Some of them 10. It depends on the airport.
Yeah, you're giving me a heart palpitation.
Why do you travel twice a week? That's a lot.
I'm always traveling to meet clients, and I have a business conference here this weekend. I'll go to the gym here with you. Then I got my conference and just nonstop stuff.
So you got events everywhere?
No, I do events about half a dozen times per year. So I do about six events, 4 days each per year, and then I'll do like one-on-one client meetings. Like weekend after weekend, I go do one-on-one meetings with the clients and help them with their specific, whatever investment or business problems, or be their counselor that weekend, or whatever's on their mind that I could help with.
Got it. So you're doing a lot of coaching.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, man. Well, where can people find your coaching, find your social media and everything?
Well, I think a fun thing, if you looked up, Derek Moneyberg on Instagram, you'll find some fun stuff on there. And that's a pretty good way to get an understanding of, who I am or what's going on. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube as well. So, Derek, D-E-R-E-K, Moneyberg, B-E-R-G. And, I think, just if you want to get rich quick, I can't help you with that. I'm not the right person to help you get rich quick. I didn't get rich quick. I didn't do anything so quick, but if you're willing to put in the work and learn the fundamentals that you can make, independent decisions and understand how the pieces work, I think you could do very, very well over time. And I like to help somebody that thinks like that.
Such a breath of fresh air to hear that take. On social media, you hear the opposite.
That's what sells in the short term, and that's what gets clicks and views and sells. And it's really unfortunate because, there's a lot of young people that they don't know any better, and then they hear that, and then, then they mess up what they do have, It's really unfortunate that, you're not going to gain 20 pounds of muscle overnight, and you're not going to get your butt built overnight, and you're going to be a millionaire overnight. Later in life, there's days I made a few $1 million in a day, but that took 40 years of me thinking about it and strategizing and doing the right things before there's times I've lost $2 million in a day. But later on, you can make $1 million in a day on occasion, or a few. Warren Buffett, on a random day that the market's up or down, 2%, that's $3 billion to him.
Holy crap.
He's up $3 billion or down $3 billion, and you don't think anything of it because it's every day,
He still drives the same car.
He's 95 years old.
Yeah, that same shitty car.
Good for you, Warren. I know you're watching right now. Shout out to Warren Buffett.
Legend, man. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for inviting me again.
Check him out, guys. Peace.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.